Ladies, gentlemen, those who do not identify, my name is Elite02K, and today we have to talk about the situation involving the Fun Pimps v. Jawoodle. Josh, my favorite and only Australian streamer. He is one of the larger ones for 7 Days to Die, which is, as we all know, is a survival crafting game. Now, for context, I will pull up. I have played this game an absurd amount. This is 7 Days to Die, marketed as the ultimate zombie survival crafting sandbox game. This was, I believe, released for early access in sometime of 2011 or 2012. I started playing this game probably a year after it was initially released. I've seen almost every single content version of the game, both pre 1.0 release and post 1.0 release, up until recently because the situation that we're about to experience together. Now, a fair warning, I have 1,100 hours in this game. I've probably spent 20 to 40 hours each version patch of the game. I have seen the goods, the bads, the uglies, and the big old fat and uglies. So let's get into it.
G'day everyone. I didn't want to
G'day,
make
mate.
this video. I was really hoping this would be...
For clarity, I'm not being coerced into doing this. I'm doing this on my free will. Jawoodle has absolutely zero influence over me doing this video. And Josh, if you do see this video, please allow my reaction to go out. I know you stated that you don't want anybody bullying the Fun Pimps about this, but I think it needs to be done. This is they've done enough shit in the past. We all kind of let it slide by and so, oh well, the game's too good for us to continue attacking them about it. This behavior from them is abhorrent. Please do not copyright strike my videos, even though it is deemed reaction content. I'm not going to just let the video play out and not say anything, but right now I am going to shut up.
Resolved and would go away without me having to say anything publicly. But now that they have posted about it publicly, I'm left with no choice. So this is going to be a different kind of video, one where I have a script and I've taken legal advice before making this video because I wanted to ensure that I did not say anything misleading or incorrect and present the facts accurately. This is a factual account of what happened and I will have the receipts to back it up. And for once in my life, I'm going to try to get through this without making jokes or laughing when I feel uncomfortable, because all of this is uncomfortable.
For those who have never seen Josh or Jawoodle, Josh, his content, he is normally an uplifted, funny, charismatic individual, and to see him physically looking drained, upset, it's definitely heartbreaking.
So, here we go. For the past month and a bit, I have deliberately avoided discussing this situation because lawyers were involved, private negotiations were taking place, and I genuinely hoped this could be resolved professionally and privately. But now, the Fun Pimps have made a public statement to their creator program about what happened. That statement...
Hey creators, I'm April, head of marketing for 7 Days to Die. During Streamer Weekend, content was shared outside of the intended version 3.0 release. Excuse me, that was unladylike. The creators were informed of what was included in the build ahead of the weekend, and our developer livestream made that very clear. We addressed it directly. But what we really want to talk about is you. Making a game is not an easy path, debatable. Part of that journey is the care that goes into how things are revealed. When that gets disrupted, the whole community loses something. The vast majority of people, vast majority of you got it. You honored your early access, respected the embargo, and protected something that wasn't yours to reveal yet, because you understood what it meant to be people who made it and the community waiting for it. That is not a small thing. Seriously, thank you. The creator program exists because of relationships like the one we have with you. We are beyond grateful for this partnership.
Statement does not name me, but it praises the vast majority of creators for respecting the embargo and protecting something that wasn't yours to reveal yet. They said, creators were informed of what was included in the build ahead of the weekend, and our developer live stream made that clear as well. And then, the vast majority of you got it. You honored your early access, respected the embargo, and protected something that wasn't yours to reveal yet. That claim needs more context. They did not name me, but all of the public discussion of this incident has centered on me as the creator who received and published that.
If I'm going to be honest, I think this was entirely a setup. There's no way I can factually confirm that, but if you've never watched Jawoodle's content, he is what would be a good comparison for Josh? Anybody else watch Let's Game It Out? Our favorite nuclear grade autistic mechanic investigator, the one notorious for breaking every game that he plays. Josh is that, but for 7 days a day. Not as intensely as Let's Game It Out. But Josh is notorious for thoroughly and sometimes violently investigating game mechanics and trying to get them to break. He is notorious for making content involving the Blood Horde moons, the Blood Moon hordes. That's the set of words I wanted to go for. And trying to break the zombie AI in 7 days a die. Because we'll talk about that later, but the Fun Pimps notoriously doesn't like their players having fun outside of the intended mechanical gameplay of how they want to make the game. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Material. My videos were removed, my channel was struck, and I was removed from the creator program. Given the timing of that statement and the surrounding circumstances, a number of members of that community have understood that statement to refer to me. And that is why I'm responding. The patch notes were provided only after I had already filmed and completed the videos. They did not identify the build I had received as incorrect until after those videos were posted. At the same time, 3 of my videos have been removed from YouTube.
Let's see here. Chicken coops are coming to 7 days die. I watched that one. It was a very good one. So he's blacking out the URLs because technically, even when they're copyright stricken, you can kind of still find them. And there's, I imagine some conflicts like this usually produce a, what the fuck is it called when something gets deleted that somebody already made a copy of it and then shares it? I can't remember, but that's why he's hiding that. Ooh, video title blacked out. Ooh, okay. So because I'm not legally obligated by NDA or contract through their creative program, I can talk about this because I seen a video that's blacked out entirely, like the video title's blacked out. Bandits. Bandits are coming to 7 days a die, and I don't know why this is a big deal because they've been promising it for like the last 4 years. It was supposed to be ready for 1.0, but Fun Pimps be fun pimpin'. So yeah, it was about bandits. I'm not gonna go too far into contact because I don't know if I technically could get sued, even though I'm not under NDA or obligatory, I think, contract. But it was bandits. It was bandits. Fuck the Fun Pimps. It was bandits.
Following copyright complaints submitted by the Fun Pimps, my channel has received.
Damn, they struck the entire video? That's crazy. So for those who don't make YouTube videos and have never been copy struck, it usually happens to everybody at least once. Mistakes happen. So there's two ways to copyright strike something. You have the partial content, and then you have the entire content. So for example, if you were to repost a fucking song that's copyrighted. Let's say what's a good song? There's so many music out there. If you were to repost a Drake song because you love pedophiles, Drake or the studio that owns the content could go in and entirely copyright strike the video and get the entire thing taken down. However, if you are, say, playing Pal World 1.0 and you have a Drake song in the background, they could remove just that section of video. This shows some super malicious intent that they're abusing the copyright system, because he is in no way obligated to edit anything out other than the content that was under the not supposed to release category, which would be bandits. It was bandits. That was the content that it was bandits. We all were waiting for fucking bandits. Fun Pimp, where are the bandits? So instead of removing the sections of the video, because once you copyright strike something, you can select like the timestamps of what content goes against your copyright strike if you're the copyright owner. And instead of doing that, they said, we're just going to take the entire 3 videos down because fuck our content creators and fuck the player base, right? It was bandits. It was bandits. That's what made them mad. Yep, it was bandits.
A copyright
That's horrible. I can't believe it did
content
this.
has been removed from TikTok, where I also now have a copyright strike.
Oof.
And I have been removed from their creator program. So
Expected.
now that this is getting out there, I believe an incomplete account of events is now circulating, and people are asking me directly about it. I can no longer remain silent while a version of events is circulated that implies I knowingly took and revealed confidential material and broke embargo. That is not what happened. Before I go further, 2 things. First, I'm sharing this to correct public record, not to direct anyone toward the people involved. And second, I have retained...
That's okay, because we're going to attack them on our own. You don't have to ask me for shit, Josh. I got you.
Australian legal counsel since the beginning of this matter. There are parts of the legal correspondence and private negotiations that I will not and cannot publish or discuss in full, but
I can, because I'm not being sued and I'm not under contract.
I can defend myself.
Yes, he can.
Explain what happened, why those...
Did I explain to you that the content that they removed that he blacked out was bandits? It was bandits.
Videos were removed.
Oh, where are the
I
bandits?
object the characterization that this was a deliberate leak.
Motherfucker, all we want is bandits.
Here is what actually happened. I was a member of the Fun Pimps creator program.
Oh, seeing him like this breaks my heart. I've been part of his community for like 4 or 5 years now. It breaks my fucking heart to see him like this.
I was accepted into that program in July of 2024 after...
That's crazy, because he's been like he's been a 7 Days to Die content creator for like 10 years. This is crazy.
Already covering 7 Days to Die for years.
Yeah.
This is not a game I occasionally covered for easy views. It has been the center of my channel, my career, my community for a very long time. Ahead of the 3.0 launch, I received access through the official creator system to a build presented to me as 7...
Bulk. Early access to the 3.0 build to help you create the best content. Embargo. When streamer weekend starts at Saturday 13th June of 2026. Can we please stop putting the month after the date? June 13th, not the 13th of June. That's some fucking British shit. We don't do that. We don't do that. Yes, it's all standard. You cannot share the password to your friends early. You cannot stream 3.0 early or post any videos until the embargo lifts. So, for those who don't know, who's never been a content creator, has never gotten early access patch content, or has never been a player developer for a game, and I'll explain the difference between a content creator and a player developer. A player developer is something like player moderator, I guess would be a better word. If you play old school RuneScape, they had player mods. They're just glorified hall monitors, essentially. But some studios are cool enough to give the power to the players to actively help change the game. not like where you can spawn shit in or anything like that, but you have like a higher up tier system. So I can actually speak to this because from 2019 to mid 2020, I was a player developer for Epic Games Studios under Fortnite's Save the World section of game. What my job was to pretty much chat moderate. Obviously, they wanted toxic players. Imagine me. What's toxic to me? Then you really need to get banned from the game, right? But my job was to, number one, chat moderate. Number two, I was to go around and ask players what they liked about the game, what they wanted to see in the game, what their favorite content was in the game, shit like that. Content creator partnerships are pretty much mostly free marketing to YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Rumble streamers, TikTokers, whatever. Facebook, I forget if Facebook's a thing for that, but their job is they're allowed early access content to have a head start to make content for the games that they're playing. So, for example, Jawoodle is known for, he's got 151,000 subscribers. He's known for 7 Days to Die, similar to Glock 9 or Mr. Reach. There's a bunch of them, right? They're allowed certain access to early versions of content. That way, if the update is a week out from the time that they get the keys, they have a whole week to make 2 or 3 videos, edit them, and then have them ready upon the release of the patch content. So that's what partnership programs are normally for.
7 Days to Die 3.0. I did not hack anything. I did not receive stolen files. I did not bypass security. I did not obtain the build from another creator.
The only way he could have got the content that he got was from the developers themselves. There's mods to put bandits in the game, but the version of the game that he was playing was the bandits. It was the bandits that they've been building for 15 years, however fucking long they've been promising it us. It was 100% the Fun Pimps work for the bandits. It was bandits, by the way. There was no other way other than their official partnership program URL that he has to click on. He has to have a password for. That's how he got it. There's no other way. That's 100% factually them bad.
Or some private or unauthorized source. I downloaded and used a build made available to me through the official creator system. The information accompanying that access did not identify which build number I had received or which build was the correct creator build. There was no...
Okay, so I'm not trying to interrupt too much. How it normally works is you have let's say, for example, this is really ghetto content creator partnership program website, right? The Fun Pimp. All right. Well, I forgot. So we have to have a www.imgay.com/fake news because I'm not gay. So you have the URL that you can create, that you can click on, brings you to the specific locked domain site that you have to have the link for. Somebody has to share the link with you. That's the only way you can get it. And then you get a password. I'm not gay, guys. Seriously. I do have a girlfriend, by the way. Actually, boink. Oh, that's not my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. Isn't she adorable? I love her. She's great. So you have to have, number one, URL, number two, password. And then it brings you to this. Theoretically speaking, I've never for sure seen the partnership program. I'm not a content partner for the Fun Pimps. But this is usually how they all are. So it has the stated content game at the top, the Fun Pimps content creator partnership program. And then it'll have 7 Days to Die the version of the game, because a lot of studios had different like games. And then it'll have update number 1.0.5 point whatever. That's the version content of the game. Jawoodle stated that that didn't have that, which is very abnormal, which also is the reason why I think this was a setup, but we'll talk about that later. And then it'll have a date to be released, and then usually for secondary emphasis, it'll have the embargo date and time, so you can't post until August 31st, 2026 at fucking 6 p.m. this time zone. That's normally how it is. And then it'll actually have patch notes. Ooh, let me get that out of the way. Let me slide that down there. The patch notes of shit were changing that was in the game 10 updates ago that we took away before, but are returning. I'm talking shit now. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck them. It was bandits. It was bandits. That was what was removed. Patch notes of shit we're removing that are good in the game that players will probably be angry about because we fucking suck most times. I'm talking about skill books. I'm talking about skill books and bandits. I'm still talking about bandits. Bandits are nice. That's normally how the content creator website functions. It'll have the studio program name. This game is what we're talking about. This is the content patch that we're talking about. And then it'll have date to be released, embargo, and then usually at the very end it'll have like a patch notes or update notes, or this is the content that you're going to be playing for us. That's normally it.
Indication that I'd been given the wrong build. The materials provided to me did not identify in any way that the build contained material outside the scope of permitted creator coverage.
It was bandits.
It was presented as 3.0 access with creators in the program, including me, encouraged to create 3.0 content. So that is what I did. I understood that the access provided through the creator program was intended for the creation of 3.0 coverage, and I did not know that the particular build provided was incorrect and contained material outside of the intended scope.
Bandits! It was bandits.
Contained two certain features, including chicken coops and another feature
bandits.
That were later said to not be intended for publication. And I made videos discussing those features as they appeared in the build provided to me. I was not trying to sabotage the release. I was not trying to spoil some secret announcements. I was using the access for its stated purpose, creating 3.0 coverage. When I discussed the first feature in the video, I did not present it as polished or an officially announced feature. I openly questioned whether this feature was unfinished, hidden, or operating somewhere in the back.
So there was a moment, and because I watched a video about bandits, the video was about bandits. I watched the video, and the bandits, the models were being very janky. The AI was definitely not finished, and he was like, why are they... I would love to show you the video, but, they took down the video because the bandits, it was bandits. They took down the video, and in the video, he was fighting a group of bandits, and it was clearly not finished content. And he was like... I am not entirely sure what's going on here. I don't know why they're functioning like this. I don't know if they're like planning on patching this in the future to like just like a here, get the fuck out of my face, here's some content, and then I'm gonna go back and fix it type situation. But the bandit functionality and the AI for it was definitely pretty janky. So he was actually questioning it.
Back end of the game. It wasn't until after those videos had been produced and the first one published that I was told that I had been given the wrong build and that it contained material that was not intended to be shown. The first removal request arrived about 14 minutes after publication. The video had gone live at the state...
Oh, let's see. Hey, we saw your video on 3.0. Bandits and Chicken Coop isn't out for 3.0. Streamer weekend build is 3.0 B. Okay, so that's the build. That's the build. B252 and not 3.0 VB205. So then they link the video. Chicken Coops and Bandits. Those right there. Those are bandits. Those are bandits right there. That's nice, right? Please remove the YouTube short and TikTok with the bandits also. How did you get access to 3.0 v205? Josh goes, huh? What do you mean? Are you joking? How have I got the wrong version? No, I'm not joking. Bandits and Chicken Coop aren't in 3.0. What password did you use or build did you have? I'll go back and look what the version listing actually said. I just clicked on the bottom one and it loaded up 3.0. So I don't doubt this. And the problem with this is the URLs are one-time generations. So they could have multiple versions of the patch note URLs, and then they send it to the creators, and then the creators click on them, enter the password, and blah 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 blah. So I can't confirm this, so I have to say allegedly. I think that this is a setup because everybody has like a confirmation that they don't really enjoy Josh's content. Josh is very well known for trying to break their game and trying to make the game as easy as possible and break it outside of the normal intentions of how you were supposed to play through it.
Embargo time, which was 3 a.m. Melbourne time, which I had followed, and I was asleep when that message arrived. Notably, this was 3 hours later than my usual upload time, so there can be no doubt that I followed the stated embargo. Fun Pimp's position was that confidentiality obligations arisen under a previous NDA applied to certain material shown in my videos,
Bandits,
including material that appeared in the supplied 3.0 build.
Those bandits.
This was not my understanding, because the later creator program access explicitly permitted 3.0 coverage.
Wait. So so that's the official message from them. Oh, there's no, unless I have, I wonder if, so you click on the URL and then there's like a bunch of patch notes and then you enter the password once you download the patches. I wonder if that's how that works. I don't know.
Later creator program
Either way,
access explicitly permitted 3.0 coverage, and there was no clear warning that the build contained any material outside that permission. I have not discussed, and I will not discuss, any material that remains subject to confidentiality obligations. But
I will. Do you know they're working on bandits? And that's what it is. And I'm not being asked to do this. I hate this whole thing. I hate it from start to finish.
The important point is that I did not take something that I understood to be prohibited and publish it anyway. When I woke up and learned that the material did not reflect the intended public 3.0 release, I corrected that information immediately. I pinned a public correction.
Boom! Important update. It appears this video was filmed in an incorrect 3.0 build that I had access to without realizing it. It was not the current release build. Bandits, that blanked out word, that's bandits, and chicken coops are not part of current 3.0 release. I filmed this in good faith using the build available to me at the time, and I had no intention of misleading anyone. Sorry for the confusion.
Finding that the footage had been recorded in an incorrect build that had been made available to me at the time. I clearly told viewers that the chicken coops and the other feature
bandits
were not included in the public 3.0 release. And I repeated that clarification during my release weekend live streams. I also cancelled the planned Instagram publication of the disputed content that had not been released. So the chicken coop contents and the content containing the other feature never appeared on my Instagram. Once I understood there was a problem, I stopped further publication and I corrected the record. Unfortunately, that was not enough to satisfy the Fun Pimps and behavior. They demanded that I remove or re-edit the videos at my own cost. I was not trying.
So here's the thing. You essentially have to I guess I'll show you how this works. Channel dashboard. So if we go here, right? We can, this is all my shit. Please subscribe. I want to be rich and famous. So we go to content. Actually, do I have content detection? Nope. No removals. So anyways, we go to content, and then you can click on, normally there'd be like, hey, your video is copyright strike, this is the section that you have to edit out. You have two options. You can either pull the video down and completely wipe your initial traffic right off the map, which is essentially what they're asking him to do, or they can copyright strike a section of the video as the content rights owner, and YouTube will automatically, after you review it, it'll edit out that like 15, 25, 30 seconds, however long it is. They did not do that. They instead copyright struck the entire video. So I don't know if anybody watching this has edited videos. I normally do, but with this one I'm not, because that there's no reason for me to. It is almost a 3 times lengthened process. So if I make what's a good example? Let's go to, I do make AI music, by the way. Please check that out. These songs fuck. So my last Dying Light the Beast video, I think I filmed for 2.5, 3 hours. Now I had to essentially watch that entire video, and minute by minute I had to edit out content to get rid of the boring stuff. Nobody wants to see me fucking walking through the map and unspectacularly bashing a couple of zombies' heads. No, you guys want to see, I'm surrounded by 10 zombies. How do I get out of it? I'm doing this quest. I'm doing this quest. I also cut out a lot of the off-screen looting I do, and the shit like that. So if you have a 3-hour video, you're trying to make it into an hour, hour and a half, you're editing out all the stuff that you want to get out, cutting, snipping, or even adding new content like voiceovers, editorial marks, text layouts. And then you watch it again to make sure that it's a watchable fucking video. So not only am I spending 3 hours going through the entire video the first time to grab all the content I want out of it or add stuff in. Add 30 to 40% time to whatever you're watching and editing to do all that editing, because that takes time to, select shit, snip it out, whatever. And then you watch it again to make sure that it's an enjoyable video, it's up to your content standards, whatever. That's a lot of fucking work for something that wasn't my fault. That wasn't his fault. I'm not gonna lie, I think they should have took the L on this because it was their L. There's no other way he could have got the content linked for bandits, and chicken coops, and bandits. It's entirely their fault. There's no way he could have gotten that content unless it was through somehow them.
Trying to leave disputed material online while pretending that nothing had happened. I remove or re-edit the videos at my own cost. I was not trying to leave disputed material online while pretending that nothing had happened. I clearly told viewers that those features were not a part of the public 3.0 release, and tried to find a practical way to resolve the contents already produced. In the Discord conversation at the time,
the release notes that we provided also didn't have the bandits or chicken coop. What version are you running currently on stream? BVHR really wants you to remove private your videos while they figure out together what happened. Can you do it now? The videos with the bandits and chicken coop. I understand the issue. This is Jawoodle, by the way. I understand the issue, and I understand that BHVR and the Fun Pimps would prefer the video to come down. From my side, the access post did not specify a required build number or warn that another 3.0 labeled build would contain content that was not allowed. Excuse me, pull this down a little bit. To be shown. I used the build that I was given access to. It displayed as 3.0, and I made the video in good faith based on the information available at the time. The release notes were not provided early enough to act as guidance before the video was already filmed and finalized, and I had no way of knowing these features were not meant to be shown or that I was in the wrong version. I also went out of my way in the video, particularly with the bandits, to make clear that what I was showing appeared to be back-end unfinished content and not something currently implemented as part of the main game, which he did. He clearly specified that, hey, these bandits aren't functionally working. They're there, but they're just kind of walking around. I don't understand what's going on. He did do that. I don't know what's blacked out here, but I'm guessing it has something to do with bandits. Privating removing the video is not a small request. This is a launch weekend content. It is my work, and taking it down will directly hurt performance and income. It has also put me in a position where the information I published in good faith now makes me look misleading or dishonest to my audience, despite the issue coming from the build access provided. I'm willing to cooperate, but I'm not willing to absorb the full cost of the wrong build issue I did not create without that being recognized. Every proposed solution so far puts the professional, financial, and reputational damage entirely on me. Can you please confirm the minimum required action here and whether keeping the video live with an immediate pin correction is acceptable while the leadership team works out what happened? I'm not trying to make this harder, but I also cannot be expected to take the full hit for something caused by the build access provided, unclear build instruction, and the timing of the release notes. He is entirely in the right here. That is 100% him. He is him. He's that guy. It's completely understandable. If I'm not the reason why this happened, why should I be the solution in fixing it? I'm not saying I'm not willing to help, but when you're jeopardizing he was probably scheduled to make a few $100s on that video at least. That's, for the average person, that's like 2 days worth of work. That's a lot of money. And for you to say, I don't care, take it down because we don't like that, that's unfair treatment. Especially when it's not my fault.
I also proposed a practical solution. I explained. I used the build I was given access to.
This video is going to be so long.
And I made the video in good faith based on the information available at the time. I also asked if the video could remain live with an immediate pin correction while behavior and the fun pimps worked out what had happened. And I made clear, I am willing to cooperate, but I am not willing to absorb the full cost of a wrong build issue I did not create without that being recognized. I did not agree to immediately erase or substantially remake several completed videos, as though the entire situation had been caused solely by me. I was an independent creator, I was not their employee, and this was not paid, contracted content produced under an approval process. I had used official creator program access, recorded the build supplied to me, and published in good faith. I had and have no paid content agreements with the fun pimps, giving them editorial approval or control over what was published on.
So when you're making content, you get free access to the games. If it's early enough, you'll be required to submit like edited forms of videos. So if this would have been like, hey, we're planning on going live with this patch update in 2 months. Here's the content. Play it. Send us the videos before you release them, type thing. Usually that's on like, hey, this is what's going to happen, and we're not afraid to show it content for like patch notes, which they have done in the past. But you know, this is more of a situation. Hey, we're gonna give you a week or two early access to a build patch of the game. Play it, record it, edit the videos, and just don't release it until this embargo is done. That's what this is.
On my channel. I did not select the build, package it for distribution, or know that it differed from the intended creator version. There is a major difference between deliberately revealing something you know is prohibited and unknowingly recording material in an incorrect build that has been supplied to you through an official source.
That included bandits.
In my view, their statement that something wasn't yours to reveal yet leaves out that distinction. Instead, it may...
Yeah, so the fun pimps are shifting blame to him.
They give the readers the impression that I had knowledge and intent. It suggests that I knew I possessed restricted material, understood that I was forbidden from showing it, and revealed it anyway. I, again, reject that characterization. I had no role in selecting or distributing the build that appeared in my account. Had I been warned that the build was incorrect or contained prohibited material, I would not have recorded those videos.
And I don't doubt he's telling the truth there.
Reason for me to risk my channel, my professional reputation, and my relationship with the developers of the game that has helped support my career thus far. After the initial requests, the situation escalated rapidly. Once it became clear this was a serious issue, I asked for any formal demand to come from the company legally responsible, rather than
given this involves my work reputation and audience, I would appreciate them speaking with me directly before making any public statement about me or my content. Also, given the seriousness of this and the impact of my work, I don't know why that was a tongue twister, income, reputation, and creator standing, I'd like this to be handled through email rather than Discord. If any part of this request is coming from behavior, I would like that communicated directly by behavior email, and then it's Josh's personal email.
Continuing through informal messages in Discord. I then received an email from Behavior Interactive, again demanding that the content be removed. In that correspondence, they acknowledged several important points.
Hello, Jawoodle. As discussed on Discord, we want to continue this conversation by email. First, we acknowledge that there appears to have been ambiguity around build access and versioning. We are not disputing that you received access to a build labeled as 3.0, nor are we suggesting that you intentionally sought out. So why are you fucking labeling it like it's his fault? That said, once in the build, you identified and showcased content that was not intended to be shown. While you may have received the release notes after finalizing your videos, you did not receive them prior to the official start of Streamer Weekend. At that point, editing the content remained an option. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. See, these are people who aren't content creators; they're content owners, and this is a severe breakdown of miscommunication. By your own description, you recognize that the material fell outside the scope of what was intended to be publicly showcased, as it was explicitly identified as hidden, and nevertheless chose to feature it in your coverage. Something related to bandits, another thing related to bandits, I don't know. We understand that removing or editing of your videos is not a small request, which is absolutely not, and we do not dismiss that. At the same time, the public exposure of hidden and unfinished content has a real impact on our team, including our future content plans, player expectations, and the experience we intend to deliver. Nobody has destroyed player expectations more than the Fun Pimps. Nobody. They're doing a fucking fantastic job of that on their own. Our creator program is built on mutually beneficial relationship. We provided privileged early access so creators that can share upcoming content with their audiences, and that access comes with guidelines with a level of trust regarding what is and is not intended for public release. Yes, but he did not know about this, bro. That's entirely on you. That's entirely on you. We value our partnership with you and have appreciated the feedback you've shared during I don't know what that is. We want to continue to work together. While providing access to the incorrect build was our responsibility, we are asking you to work with us in good faith by taking action on following content. For your long-form video, we are requesting that you edit the video rather than unpublish it entirely, something involving cutting out bandits, which was in the video. For your shorts and TikTok videos that specifically mention bandits, that word is bandits, that right there, that's bandits. In Chicken Coop, we are requesting that you unpublish them. Please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
The content be removed. In that correspondence, they acknowledged several important points. In their email to me, they wrote, there appears to have been some ambiguity around build access and versioning. We are not disputing that you received access to a build labeled as 3.0, nor are we suggesting that you intentionally sought out the incorrect build. They further acknowledged that the release notes came only after I had already finalized the videos. While you may have received the release notes after finalizing your videos, you did receive them prior to the official start of Streamer Weekend, and they recognized that what they were asking was not minor. We understand that removing or editing your videos is not a small request, and we do not dismiss that. But most importantly, they wrote, while providing access to the incorrect build was our responsibility. So they acknowledged in writing that providing me with the incorrect build was their responsibility. They still argued that I should have recognized that the material was not intended to be shown, despite me having no knowledge of the internal differences between their builds. I do not, and never have, worked for the Fun Pimps or Behavior Interactive. And that is the central disagreement. I still do not know how I received a different build or why that material was included, and they have not given me an explanation for how that happened. But I did not create this situation. Because I would be shouldering the entire cost arising from the incorrect build they supplied, with no offer to cover the loss to my business, I stated my reasoning and declined to immediately remove or remake all of the content.
And nobody can be mad at him for this, because the Fun Pimps could have easily said, hey, estimate how long this is going to take for you to edit. We're going to give you $25 an hour of editing based off your estimate. We're going to pay you that, and then we're going to double it for the content lost while the video is pulled down. It could have been $1,000 thing. Now this is going to be a multi-$1,000 lawsuit.
My response at the time, I explained why. I wrote, I respect that Behavior and the Fun Pimps have full control over what they choose to include in the game, how they release it, and how they communicate future content plans. In the same way, I retain editorial control over my own published content. I do not work for Behavior or the Fun Pimps, and I was not paid or contracted to create this video. This was independent coverage made in good faith from a build I was given access to. If this had been a paid contracted campaign, there would normally be clear terms in place around review, approval, change requests, takedowns, and remedies if something went wrong. That is not the arrangement here. This was unpaid creator access, and no agreement was made that Behavior or the Fun Pimps would have post-publication editorial control over my independent coverage. I also explained that removing the content was not a minor change. As I wrote at the time, removing the affected sections from the long-form video would affect the structure, title, thumbnail, description, viewer expectations, and performance of the upload. Likewise, unpublishing the shorts and TikTok content would place the cost of this issue on me after the fact. I then received a formal legal demand alleging that I had breached NDA obligations and requiring the content to be removed. This was the first formal threat.
The NDA doesn't apply if you supply the wrong fucking content. It doesn't. He's gonna win this in court.
Threats of legal action. A lot of people have also asked why I did not simply take down the videos immediately.
Because he shouldn't have.
That is a fair question, but by that point, this had become more than just a request to remove the videos. Once their legal team became involved, I could no longer just remove the videos and assume that the matter would end. They had made clear that removal alone would not resolve it, and that further legal or platform action could still follow. From that point, I could not take the videos down without first obtaining legal advice. The demand arrived on a Saturday morning in Australia, which also happens to be my birthday. It had been sent on Friday evening in their local time.
Happy birthday, fuckface. Here's a
response by Monday afternoon in North America. That left me with less than one full business day to find Australian legal representation and review their demands. I requested an extension until the following Friday so that I would have time to find appropriate counsel. That full extension was declined and I was given until Wednesday. I urgently contacted several Australian law firms over the weekend and eventually retained lawyers to represent me. From that point onward, I stopped trying to handle the dispute personally and allowed the lawyers to communicate. On the 25th of June, my lawyers sent a formal response to Behavior Interactive and the Fun Pimps, explaining my position and attempting to resolve the matter. Behavior Interactive's legal counsel then informed my lawyers that their clients maintained their position and intended to pursue the legal remedies available to them. Ultimately, and unfortunately, despite my genuine attempts to resolve the matter by compromise, no agreement was reached. I was not willing to accept a public version of events.
And this is how you know that it's malicious behavior on their end. I can't confirm this, but they have not liked Jawoodle for a long time. He's notorious for fucking with their game, like trying to make it easy or like breaking it, easy moding it. This is $1,000 issue at most, and they've already spent multiple thousands of dollars just on lawyers, and it hasn't even gone to court yet.
That said, I had knowingly leaked material that I understood was prohibited. That is not what occurred. I hold myself with integrity and honorable actions, and I was concerned that the public impression being created was that I had deliberately done something wrong. Protecting my reputation is important to me. Around the same time, I was removed from the Fun Pimps Creator Program and its Discord. I received an automated lurket email saying my application had been declined, despite having been accepted into and...
Bitch, declined. I was accepted. You can't decline it. You can fire me. That's crazy.
Participating in the program 2 years earlier in July 2024. The Fun Pimps then submitted copyright takedown requests in relation to 3 of my YouTube videos. Those videos were removed and my channel received a copyright strike. They did not simply remove the particular sections they disputed, they took down the videos wholesale.
And this is the thing I was talking about. They could have easily struck 15% of the video, multiple timestamps. They didn't. They wanted the entire thing down. This is malicious behavior. This is fucked up.
A copyright strike places the wider channel at risk, and further strikes could have severe consequences for the entire channel. And this channel is my livelihood. It supports my business, my staff, and the community that I've spent years building. It is our home for everything from entertainment to our charity work. The public removal pages identified the Fun Pimps as the party making the copyright complaints. Viewers could see what had happened and people naturally began asking questions. Even then, I did not immediately make a public response. I did not comment beyond saying that I was aware of the takedowns and that it was being handled through the proper channels. I did not make videos attacking the Fun Pimps. I did not tell my audience to go after anyone. I did not publish private legal correspondence. I continued to try to deal with the matter through my lawyers and the proper channels. But after weeks of me staying quiet, the company released a public statement that, in my view, framed the situation in a way that implied that I knowingly broke the embargo and revealed something I understood was secret. That statement creates the impression that I knew that material was restricted, that I knew I was forbidden from showing it, and chose to reveal it anyway. It also suggests that I failed to respect the embargo. I did respect the embargo. The video went live at the stated time. This was not a creator knowingly entrusted with a secret and choosing to trade that trust for views. I published openly under my own name. When I was told that the build was wrong, I corrected the information and stopped further publication. That is not the behavior of somebody trying to secretly distribute stolen material. People can disagree with my refusal to immediately delete every completed video. I understand why the developer wanted that material removed, but that later disagreement does not turn the original publication into a deliberate breach. Seeking legal advice and attempting to resolve the dispute privately was not an admission of wrongdoing. Independent creators do not have legal departments, and disputes like this create significant financial and professional risk. At every stage, I have been responding to actions taken against me. I did not initiate legal proceedings, issue takedowns, or make the dispute public. I was left with a choice: accept demands from a company that I was not employed by and had no paid content or editorial approval agreement with, or seek legal advice and defend myself and my business. And I chose to defend myself. Attempts were made to resolve it. No agreement was reached. The copyright takedowns followed. I dispute those copyright takedowns.
As he should.
I'm receiving legal advice about those actions, and I am not going to argue an entire legal case in a YouTube video. I've spent years covering 7 Days to Die. I've promoted updates, showcased features, brought players into the game, and built a large part of my career around this community. The Fun Pimps can manage its creator program and protect genuinely confidential material, but once they publicly implied that I knowingly revealed something entrusted to me as a secret, I had to correct that implication. This
he has to defend himself.
I've lost almost 6 kilograms during it, and I've struggled to work.
How much is that in freedom units? 13 pounds, bro. What? Bro, you know how hard it is to lose 13 pounds in a month? That shit's crazy.
Without fearing the next email or the next platform notice. I wish the correct build had been supplied to me. I wish that this could have been resolved privately. It was not. So about my future in this space, for now, I still enjoy 7 Days to Die, and I still love making videos that you enjoy watching. All your kind comments over the years go into a folder called the Rainy Day folder, where I can go and remind myself of the positive impact you guys have told me I have for doing this. That folder has not closed for a month. I will continue creating content I believe is best for my channel and the community, whether that is 7 days or otherwise. But I will not participate in future early access update weekends without clear, professional, and contracted agreements that properly define the build, the permitted content, and the review process. I cannot put myself or my business in this position again. I'm not holding a grudge. I'm not saying I would never work with them again, but the current
That's okay, Josh, because we hold a grudge.
copyright strikes would need to be properly addressed first. I will continue following my lawyer's advice and handling any next steps through the appropriate processes. And for now, annoyingly, I'm left with unanswered questions, thousands of dollars in legal fees, an ulcer from constantly chewing my lip in my sleep, and a very uncertain future in content creation. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry I had to make a video with all of this, but it was important to me to make sure that the record was set straight and my reputation was not damaged further by an incomplete version of events. I wanted to finish this with a joke. I never want you to leave a Woodle video with a bitter taste in your mouth. I want these videos to make you smile. But honestly, I'm just tired. I'm one person up against a much bigger company using legal and platform processes against me over material they have acknowledged responsibility for supplying. I'm just tired. Let's hope I never have to do this again. Cheers.
Boom. And that is our boy Josh Jawoodle. I'm not going to make it too much longer because I'm not editing this and this is already an hour, but I do want to talk about the community hub. So if we go here, 33,000, almost 34,000 people playing the game right now. That's no small feat for, I think it came out a year ago in early access. It might have been 2 years ago now. So for a game to still hold 34,000 players, it's not bad. It's not Pal World numbers, but but this has vastly affected the reviews. And we're gonna take a look at those because honestly, they deserve some public shaming. No longer a fun game to play. The Fun Pimps have lost their vision of what this game was. Justice for Jawoodle. Uninstalled due to the Fun Pimps treatment of content creator Jawoodle. Screw the Fun Pimps. Their continually janky game and their lie after lie after lie as to content coming to the game. Now, this guy is referring to multiple things, but the most infamous one is literally the same thing that this has caused an issue about, which is the bandits that were totally deleted. Bandits have been promised to us since 3,000. No, I'm just kidding. It's been a few years. It was on the initial roadmap release, the updated roadmap release, I think in Alpha 21. Yeah, so it's been a known thing coming for a while. I don't know why this is that big of a deal. If anything, we're probably happiest to see that they're at least functioning mostly in the game. Another thing is, they constantly go after player happiness levels. There's been so many changes to the game back and forth. The weather system, clothing was a big one. Nobody liked the clothing update. They removed all the clothing and all the armor and instead introduced armor sets. They overhauled the weather system for storms, and it's been a clusterfuck the last, ever since Alpha 19, it's been just gradually going downhill. So yeah, this is definitely some stuff, some things. I am really, really sorry to Josh. Josh, if you do see this video, please don't copyright strike me, dude. I'm just trying to help. You don't want me to help, that's fine. I am part of your community. I am in your Discord. You probably have seen my name at least a few times. I've been there for a few years now. I love your content, brother. I'm sorry this is happening to you. I will continue watching and supporting you wherever the next journey might take you. I'm not going to formally ask for harassment for the Fun Pimps, but I'm not sorry if it happens and other people decide to do the thing. But this is an L. This is an L for one of my favorite games of all times. To the point where I don't even want to support the game anymore. I will no longer be playing it until there's an issued public apology to Josh. And I highly recommend everybody similar mindset like me does the same. But if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get above the 69 subscription count. I'm just kidding. I'm at 125, but I would like more friends. I'm a lonely boy. If you do decide to subscribe to me, I will donate to you one of my kidneys and my right testicle. No, you cannot have the left one. That one is my favorite. His name is Ernie.